Hi, I'm Becky Rose Dungeon Girl, and today I'm going to talk about poisons. Well, I don't know if that's a poison. Actually, this is a very middle-class area I'm in right now, so they'd probably put this on their salad. We've all seen the trope of the rogue who likes to rub poisons onto their blade and go around killing people with massive damage bonuses. 5th edition changed that. They said, a poisoned creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. And here in the adventuring gear section, you can buy a poisoned vial for 100 gold. The antitoxin's only 50 gold pieces, and that could be made with the herbalism kit. But there's another kit that's interesting here. The poisoner's kit. A poisoner's kit includes the vials, chemicals, and other equipment necessary for the creation of poisons. Proficiency with this kit lets you add your proficiency bonus to any ability checks you make to craft or use poisons. But what are the poisons? Well, actually, it turns out that everything is technically a poison or has toxicity. Even water, if you drink enough water, it will kill you. It stands to reason, therefore, that every toxin is also, technically, edible. So let's take a look at some. Now, some poisons come in the form of fungus, like this one that some dog just pissed on. And that's probably the most poisonous thing here right now. This is a very common plant in Britain, it's called stinging nettle. And depending on the species, the stem and the leaf all are covered in tiny little needles that deliver histamine into your body and gives you an allergic reaction. Typically growing near it, you get these, bay leaves, also called a dock leaf. You can crush that up, rub that in, and that will ease the stinging. It's the natural anti-histamine. This is a thistle, found more in the north but quite common enough here. And some crazy fuckers eat that. I think they're masochists. Now this very sick looking tree here has some berries. These aren't edible. In fact, they give you quite a bad stomachache. But over here, I finally found something in this entire bleeding place that is actually poisonous. So let's go have a look. Holly! Where both the leaves and the berries are really poisonous. If you eat that, you're going to get really sick. But all of these things, no matter how good or bad they are for you, share one common thing. If you were to wipe these poisons and histamines and all sorts onto a blade, and then slash someone with that blade, it will make no fucking difference.
It's come to our attention that some of the men support Loki. Right, well, we better invoke Loki then. Loki is on our side. Like the rainbow! It's called the Bifrost, you idiot! Some of the men believe in getting drunk. No, good enough. Some of the men believe in Thor. Better invoke Thor then. Thor is on our side. Like the Bifrost! Fuck it, let's have more. Odin, Freya, Tyr, Heimdall. Like the rainbow! Collaborations, chaps. Got a bit of a problem here. Oh, that's a convenient field of mushrooms. Put your weapons into the mushrooms and get as much poison on them as you can. I can see pretty colours. Last, the enemy are using poisoned weapons. Well, there's only one thing for it. We need to get in. Small drinking goblin. We need to get a real goblin. I invoke Cthulhu! Now it's the wrong time of year to show you this plant, so I'm going to use a picture. But what you'll see is a deadly nightshade. Now this particularly toxic plant is quite common in my home country, but just how toxic is it? Well, Atropa belladonna, as it's sometimes known, is fatal if you have about 20 berries.
But if you have somewhere between 5 and 10 berries, it's actually an hallucinogenic. And if you have just 1 or 2 berries, that's an anaesthetic. In fact, that's what the Romans used to use for anaesthesia. However, just 2 or 3 berries is enough to kill a child, but 1 for a baby. But if you think that sounds bad, you should try eating the roots. However, by the time you've turned those solid berries into a liquid form to rub onto your blade, and that liquid evaporates in a few minutes, it really is completely ineffectual for your sword-wielding, poisonous rogue thing. Another toxic plant in my home country is the hemlock. Now, my American viewers might be confused there, thinking, hemlock's a tree! It's a totally different hemlock. And the scientific name I have to look up because I don't actually know. It is a Conium maculatum, whatever that is. Anyway, it is quite poisonous and is sometimes mistaken as parsley, which is, I guess, how we found out it's poisonous. So don't eat that, unless you're a butterfly. Butterflies can eat that perfectly fine. Maybe we should just eat the butterflies. Insects are actually a surprisingly good source of protein. And they're one of the few creatures that dies instantly to a human bite. However, the human bite is actually fatal to 96% of species on Earth. But it's a slow bacterial infection kind of death that takes a long time to come about. Our saliva is full of bacteria and viruses, which we're all immune to. To me, the poisons that are described in D&D 5th edition are much like those nettles, histamine, and the dock leaves, the anti-histamine. The kind of thing that, it really hurts, gives you disadvantage for a short period of time, and then you're over it. But there are some other types of toxin. Let's look at snake venom.
I'm king of the world, no one can touch me. Time for dinner. Nom nom nom. Oh no, I've been poisoned.
Haha, you're dead now.
No, I just have disadvantage.
Blast! A mamba will hit you with a dendrotoxin. What this will do is it will shut down your nervous system so that you can't communicate with different parts of your body through your central nervous system, meaning you can't run away or move or fight back. A similar technique is used by cobras and sea snakes and king cobras, which deliver a neurotoxin, which does the same thing, but it's a different toxin. There's even a Japanese snake that turns bits of your body into soap, causing the cell membranes to break down. Turns all your fat into soap and presumably washes your insides. Some mambas and cobras deliver a cardiotoxin that shuts down your heart by preventing your heart from being able to beat. It stops it relaxes the muscle of the heart. But there are some cobras and most vipers that deliver a hemotoxin that destroy red blood cells, so thinning out your blood, reducing your oxygen supply, and killing you that way. Some mambas and rattlesnakes deliver a kind of toxin that causes involuntary muscle contractions, so you die like you're in a fit. I forget what that one's called. It's got a something. Some snakes will actually spit their venom at you, but most will need to bite you in order to inject the venom. I think vipers do it. Don't ask me what a boa constrictor has in terms of poison, I don't actually know. I suppose I should have googled that before I said anything about them. But they do have a habit of crushing your bones, that much I know. But they're not native to my country. This is not valuable, life-saving information for me, thankfully. The most poisonous thing I have in this country is an adder. And that's... well, what poison does an adder have? Adders have the most highly developed venom-injecting mechanism of all snakes. Holy fuck. But I have actually met an adder in the wild, and they're quite docile things. You just walk around them. It's on a pavement. You can tell it's an adder. If you're in Britain, you can tell it's an adder. It's the one with the pattern. The one without is a grass snake. Totally harmless. Seen 4 of those. Still alive. Much like plants, however, these venoms are comparatively useless when put onto a blade. The problem is, we're not injecting the venom directly into the blood by putting it on our blade, we're evaporating it. Even if you did manage to get some kind of long-lasting venom onto your blade by some magical effect in D&D, by the time you've actually hacked through into the blood supply of someone, you've A, already killed them, and B, rubbed the venom off the blade. The bottom line is poisons on weapons are effectively useless, but poisons within a creature are much more destructive than 5th edition would have us believe. And those venoms and poisons can be used and put into food. Failing that, just force feed your target loads of water. You'll need a lot more than 40 pints a day. That would cause water retention issues, obesity, a lot of fat. You would need quite a lot though, so you're probably better off drowning them